Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about Melee and show some Melee gameplay of me in Bombshell Paradox with the League. Now, I wouldn't recommend just to anybody to go ahead and Melee. And when I say Melee, I mean true Melee, not this 12.5 meter mid-range quote-unquote Melee, but true, actual, legit Melee. I wouldn't recommend doing this in a pug group. I did this in a league run where I felt comfortable to do it, and if I did die, you know, my group wouldn't suffer because I was either out of the fight or did something stupid. So that's my little disclaimer there on the video. This footage was taken the day that Game Update 51 dropped, with the updated damage to most of Rage's main powers, such as Outrage, E-Chain, Revenge, Frenzy, and Dreadful Blast. I'm not really going to get into Dreadful Blast because it's kind of disappointing and I don't really want to make a rant video, but I'm here to specifically talk about actual true Melee in this raid, and it definitely can be done. As you see here, I uploaded, well, this video will consist of the 3 boss fights. I didn't include the trash that we fought along the way just because I didn't feel it was really important. So Melee, it all comes down in this raid about positioning. This raid doesn't have any type of mechanics really similar to how, let's say, HH was, where Superman is proximity aggro, Stompa does her shoulder charge basically to anybody that's close to her, so if you're right next to her, she's going to turn around and shoulder charge you. And what's her name? Lashina doesn't have a reflect move or her doom spin or anything like that, or that random elect ball that she throws out behind her, which is really weird, but it's nothing like that. And so I'm hoping that this is a trend going forward, that we see less AoE type moves from the boss, more cone style attacks and things that make it so Melee is actually a viable option. I don't feel that Melee should be left to solos, duos, and alerts. I think that in-game content should allow for Melee type of playstyle and not just for the tank. It's frustrating because I am so close to the boss and I am at a very high risk of dying, but people can sit at, you know, 12.5 meters from the boss and that's considered Melee, when in reality it's really not. So it's frustrating because playing as Rage, where Melee is a huge part of how Rage plays, at least DPS wise, you can't always do that in certain content. Here's where I die. You can see I try to acro roll out of the way, which sucks. But like I said, I hope that this is a trend going forward, because I would really much enjoy being able to Melee in endgame content. SM is another example of places that you just can't Melee. I mean, there's certain rounds that you would be able to Melee, but Meleeing on let's see, Mad Harriet? No. Meleeing on Stompa? No. Meleeing Green Arrow? No. Meleeing Orion? No. I mean, those are all things that you just can't Melee, unfortunately, but I get that in SM, I guess. I can deal with that, but anything outside of SM, like just raids in general, it's frustrating because you can't do that. I know that they changed Throne to make it so you could actually Melee Ares. You still can't Melee Hades because he's still proximity aggro. So those types of boss mechanics are just really frustrating for people who want to Melee. I mean, specifically Rage DPSs. But I was actually pretty happy though with the damage output, and I'm very happy with Game Update 51 and making it so that I can keep up. I'll show the scorecard at the end of this run, and I generally don't look at the scorecard because I really don't care, but I just wanted to make sure that I was able to keep up. And I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, you guys were carrying 2 DPSs. Well, you also have to look at the other type of DPSs we have in here. You've got me Meleeing, we've got 2 other ice DPSs, an Elec, and gadgets. So trying to set up your dots is going to be really hard because everything's pretty much going to be dead. And then same with Vagrant's trying to set up his, what is that, EMP. I mean, you can put out so much more damage before like he even gets EMP off, so I wasn't too worried about that. It was just a nice, quick, wouldn't necessarily say clean run, but I kept my deaths somewhat the same as everybody else, I guess. I didn't have the most, which was nice, but I still was able to keep up with rage, and it made me very happy, especially with messing up my trinket rotation and messing up my actual rotation. I still was able to do, you know, pretty good damage in here. So let me know what you guys think about meleeing and endgame content. I personally hope that we can see more of it. It's really fun, and if you haven't tried Rage out since Game Update 51, I would recommend trying it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See you in game. Bye!